Palworld. You've heard of it by now, but what exactly is it and why is it so successful? To begin this little dissection of the game, let's look at the mechanics. The very first thing we need to talk about is it is a survival game. Survival games have been around for a while, and the formula of them, of finding resources, building your own personal base, decorating it, customizing it, is very fun to people that enjoy these kind of games. And that right there is the foundation of Palworld. It is a survival game. You have to eat, you have to find resources to expand your base. And this all leads to the next point, is Palworld has a great sense of exploration. The map is very big. You are not only exploring the map to find resources, but you are exploring the map to find pals or pocket monsters, very similar to Pokemon. And that is the only similarity to Pokemon that we have in the game. The game is more of a survival game than a Pokemon game. But when you're out exploring different areas that are leveled differently, more difficult areas or farther away from the starting location, there are more and more pals you will discover. This keeps you playing the game. And then on top of it, as you level up, you are ever expanding your technology tree, further keeping people playing the game to see the next thing they could build, the next thing they can unlock and discover, the next upgrade for the base or your pals. The game not only has you upgrading your base, but you can upgrade gear for your pals that unlock special abilities. Maybe that's riding a bird that you could fly on now and explore the world. Maybe it's unlocking a submachine gun for your little plant-based fox. Again, we are loosely discussing the game. I don't know any of the pal names off the top of my head. Another thing that's keeping people playing is the color scheme and the graphics. It is not a game that we're going to write home about, brag about. It's not going to win any awards for graphics. But the game has a wholesome color palette. It has good graphics for the most part, and that is appealing to the eye, and also to cozy gamers. People that just want to relax casually and play. The next thing about these kind of games, in Palworld particularly, is you could play offline single player and customize your own world, all the settings, make the game less grindy, make it more casual, turn off raids, bunch of customization settings, which is always helpful for these survival games. And then you could play on a server. On PC, it's up to 32 people that could play in one world, if I'm not mistaken. A lot less on Xbox. But that is very appealing. Not only can you play this by yourself, but you could play it with friends. You could play it with acquaintances. That makes the game have more longevity. A lot of people are saying this is going to be a flash in the pan. This is the next Valheim. We all know Valheim. Only the most hardcore, diehard Valheim fans are still playing that game. But this game, Palworld, has more than just survival and building a base and exploring the world. The pals. Everyone likes to have a little Tamagotchi style. Raise a creature. You could breed creatures in this game. You could hatch eggs. You can condense pals together to make them stronger. A lot of various ways to keep you engaged. And then let's discuss the future. The game is in early access right now. People are somewhat critical of the Endgame. The Endgame is a little lackluster. There's not a lot to do in Endgame. But these kind of games you could progress almost infinitely with higher levels, higher technologies, higher and higher areas of difficulty, new islands, new maps. You saw with Ark Survival how they eventually added laser guns and high technology to the game. And you can easily do that with Palworld. Palworld also has a Dark Souls kind of aspect to it. Depending on the difficulty you choose, when you die, you drop all your items, all your inventory, and you have to go back and get it. There's also world bosses tower bosses, and it feels almost like Dark Souls boss battles, where you gotta level up, get stronger to prep for these events. Overall, Palworld has an extremely successful formula to it. And this formula, if Games Freak and Nintendo capitalized on it years ago, they would have had a successful Pokemon game. But instead, you have all these different fans of Nintendo and Pokemon outraged at Palworld. You have modders creating fabricated stories, fabricated information saying that Palworld stole animations from XYZ sources. And yes, some of the monster design is a little derivative of Pokemon in certain aspects, but that is because that is the only game that we compare it to. If a game came out called Bark Survival Evolved, with a bunch of dinosaurs that were slightly different variations of Ark Survival Evolved, people would definitely say the same thing. We have a case of stealing. We have a case of this, that, and the other. But the whole concept that Pokemon owns the rights to every single pocket monster design in the world is a little far-fetched. Then you would not have games and genres like Digimon, or other games that came out that are similar to Pokemon, like Temtem. Will Palworld have longevity? I believe it will. Once they add a good endgame, they're going to add more stuff to the world, better AI, being able to assign your pals to jobs. I can only see this game staying popular and being a game that people will go back and play. Maybe a few years from now, when the dust settles, I could picture a bunch of friends saying, hey, let's load Palworld back onto our hard drive and let's all get a session going. Because it is a very fun game to play with people. It's a very fun game to play by yourself. I do enjoy survival games, so I might be a little biased. The whole idea that you get to design your own base, your own house, your own area, make a piece of the world yours, and then on top of it, you're finding animals / pocket monsters to capture and raise. It's a very appealing game to a lot of different people. A very successful formula, and other AAA game devs should take note. Thank you for watching this video. If you want to help me out, hit that thumbs up button, comment down below what you like about this game or dislike, and also hit that subscribe button if you want to see more gaming videos. Thank you for watching.